My dad can buy you. The sentence drops before the hearing even properly begins. Aiden Victor Roth, 18, delivers it with a lazy, uninterested tone, like he's rattling off a drink order. Judge Caprio sets his pen aside. Mr. Roth, this is a courtroom. What you just said is now part of the official record. Do you realize the weight of that? I realize my father owns half this city, Aiden replies. Your father owns real estate. He does not own this bench. Sit down. Aiden lifts a shoulder in a casual shrug. His lawyer, technically the lawyer hired by his father, jumps to his feet. Your Honor, my client is young, and... Counselor, your client has just made a remark that calls the fairness of this proceeding into question. We will deal with that shortly. First, we need the facts. Miss Lewis, call the case. The clerk rises. Case number 2025-TR47286, Commonwealth versus Aiden Victor Roth. Counts: speeding, 68 miles per hour in a posted 35 miles per hour active school zone, reckless operation, and failure to comply with a lawful command. Caprio focuses on Aiden. Before we play the audio, tell us where you're watching from and subscribe to order in the court. This is only going to get more awkward. The attorney tries again. Your Honor, we're ready to pay the fines and settle this matter today. Counselor, this courtroom is not a checkout window. Your client was recorded driving almost twice the limit in a live school zone. We will examine the evidence. Officer Rodriguez, approach the stand. Officer Thomas Rodriguez steps forward, raises his right hand, and is sworn in. Officer Rodriguez, please read your incident report into the record. Yes, Your Honor. On Tuesday, October 15th at 8:47 a.m., I was running speed enforcement on Elmwood Avenue near Carver Elementary School. The school zone beacon was active. Posted limit, 35 miles per hour. Using LiDAR, I measured a black sports sedan heading west at 68 miles per hour. I activated my siren and emergency lights. The vehicle did not come to an immediate halt. It traveled roughly 2 blocks before turning into a parking area. When I approached the driver, later identified as Aiden Roth, I asked to see his license and registration. He replied, "Call my lawyer first." I explained that traffic stops don't work that way. He then said, "Do you know who pays your salary?" I issued citations for speeding, reckless driving, and failure to obey a traffic signal. Caprio makes a note. Officer Rodriguez, you have both dash cam and body cam footage of this stop, correct? Yes, Your Honor. Play the body cam audio, just the pertinent part. A brief hiss is followed by Aiden's voice, sharp and dismissive. Do you know who pays your salary? Caprio allows a moment of silence. Mr. Roth, did you say that to Officer Rodriguez? Yeah. So what? Context matters. Officer Rodriguez was performing his duties. You tried to intimidate him by bringing up financial influence. Speed obeys the laws of physics, not privilege. Caprio turns to the clerk. Miss Lewis, were there any communications with this court about this case before today's hearing? The clerk flips through a log. Yes, Your Honor. 2 incoming calls and 1 voicemail, all from a number listed under Roth Capital Group Legal Counsel. Timestamps? First call at 9:23 a.m., second at 9:41 a.m., and voicemail at 9:58 a.m. Play the voicemail. A professional, measured voice fills the courtroom. This is calling on behalf of Victor Roth regarding case 2025-TR47286. We'd like to discuss a quiet resolution before this matter goes to hearing. Please return this call at your earliest convenience. The attorney rises. Your Honor, my client is not responsible for calls made by his father's office. Caprio responds. That's prejudicial, overruled. Any pressure on court proceedings must be on the record. I am documenting facts, Counselor, not speculating. Miss Lewis, can you lay out the timeline of these contacts? Yes, Your Honor. Traffic stop at 8:47 a.m. First call from Roth Capital Legal at 9:23 a.m., 36 minutes after the stop. Caprio looks at Aiden. Mr. Roth, did you reach out to your father after the stop? I sent him a text. Miss Lewis, is that text in evidence? Yes, Your Honor. Officer Rodriguez recovered a screenshot of the text with consent. It shows a message from the defendant to a contact labeled Dad. Timestamp 9:02 a.m. received a citation. He'll handle the calls. Don't worry about it. Caprio scans the text. Expecting someone else to fix your mistakes is not a legal defense, Mr. Roth. Miss Lewis, does Mr. Roth have previous traffic violations? Yes, Your Honor. 3 speeding tickets within the last 18 months, all resolved through legal counsel. The defendant never appeared in court personally. Caprio turns to Aiden. You've been cited 3 times in a year and a half and never shown up in court yourself. Is that accurate? My attorney takes care of it. Your attorney pays the fines. That doesn't equate to taking responsibility. Mr. Roth, are you aware that school zones exist to protect children? I guess so. Officer Rodriguez, were there children present when you stopped him? Yes, Your Honor. A crossing guard was stationed, and roughly 20 students were crossing Elmwood. Mr. Roth, you were traveling 68 miles per hour past 20 children. Do you understand the distance required to stop at that speed? Aiden shrugs. I stopped fine. You didn't stop until 2 blocks after the officer turned on his lights. That's not fine. That's defiance. Caprio leans in. Mr. Roth, I want to revisit your opening statement. You told this court, quote, my dad can buy you. Do you stand by that? I mean, probably. The attorney rises swiftly. Your Honor, my client is young and doesn't fully grasp the situation. Counselor, your client is 18. He is legally an adult. Mr. Roth, let me be explicit. Are you stating on the record that your father could influence this court? Aiden smirks. My dad has dinner with the mayor every month. He supports half the city's charities. So yeah, if he made a call, this would disappear. Miss Lewis reads directly from the stenographer's transcript. The clerk reads aloud, my dad has dinner with the mayor every month. He supports half the city's charities. So yeah, if he made a call, this would disappear. 5 seconds. 7, 10, 12. That's how long arrogance tried the patience of authority. Then Caprio speaks softly. Mr. Roth, you just informed this court that your father's wealth and influence could erase a legitimate citation. That is not an exaggeration. It is a direct affront to the integrity of this proceeding. Do you comprehend that? I understand my dad has more power than you do. Caprio sits up straight. Here is my ruling on the traffic citations. The evidence is clear and uncontested. The radar indicated a speed of 68 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour school zone, confirmed by the body cam timestamp and the school zone beacon log showing it was active. Approximately 20 children were present. The vehicle did not stop for 2 blocks after the lights and siren were engaged. The defendant declined to provide license and registration without legal counsel, constituting a failure to comply with a lawful order. I find the defendant guilty on all 3 charges. Base fines total $1,000 and $200. Additionally, I am imposing a 90-day license suspension effective immediately, along with mandatory enrollment in a driver safety course to be completed before eligibility for reinstatement. Caprio pauses. These consequences serve to teach what privilege tried to conceal. But we are not done, Mr. Roth. Your statements, both to Officer Rodriguez and in this courtroom, represent something far graver than traffic infractions. When you said to Officer Rodriguez, do you know who pays your salary? You attempted to intimidate a public servant performing his duties. When you told me, my dad can buy you, you challenged the authority of this court. Direct contempt of court is defined as conduct occurring in the immediate presence of the court that obstructs the administration of justice. Your statement was made openly on the record in my presence. It was deliberate, not accidental, and it undermines public confidence in the judicial process. What concerns me most, Mr. Roth, is that you didn't merely insult me. You told everyone in this courtroom, and anyone who will read this transcript, that justice can be bought, that outcomes are shaped by wealth for those who can afford it. That is not how this system functions. Not here, not under my watch. For direct contempt of court, I am sentencing you to 30 days at the Adult Correctional Institution. You will be eligible for review after 15 days if you demonstrate reflection and compliance. Officer Wilson, take Mr. Roth into custody. The bailiff steps forward. Aiden's smirk vanishes. Wait, what? You heard the ruling, Mr. Roth. Officer Wilson, proceed. The attorney rises. Your Honor, my client didn't mean. Your client said exactly what he meant, twice, on the record. Officer Wilson. The metallic click of handcuffs echoes through the courtroom. Aiden pales. You can't do this. My dad will. Your dad will do nothing, Mr. Roth. This is direct contempt. It is immediate. You will be transported within the hour. Miss Lewis notes, for the record, Your Honor, the time is now 10:31 a.m., 31 minutes from call of the case to custody. Caprio scans the courtroom. Next case, please. The clerk calls case 2025 TR 47301, Commonwealth versus Maria Santos. A woman in her 50s steps forward, nervous, clutching a folder. She was cited for an expired registration, 3 days overdue. Miss Santos, I see you paid the registration fee the day after receiving the citation. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I worked 2 jobs and lost track of the date. You took responsibility immediately. Fine reduced to $25. Thank you for your honesty, Miss Santos. And thank you, Your Honor. True equality speaks loudest when wealth fails. Caprio returns to his notes. Before we adjourn, I am formally placing the following policy recommendations on record for the Municipal Court Administration and the Mayor's Office. First, implement a weekly ex parte influence log for all cases. Any off-the-record attempts at communication, including those from law firms or corporate counsel, must be documented and made publicly available. Second, set up a court clerk hotline to report interference. Any attempt to apply pressure, intimidate, or leverage money or connections can be reported anonymously, and every report will be thoroughly investigated. Third, conduct an audit of school zone speed beacons and post the results on a publicly accessible dashboard. Enforcement data should be fully transparent. Fourth, create a standardized enforcement script for officers to use when drivers cite wealth, status, or connections during stops. This ensures officers have clear language to maintain professional boundaries. Fifth, issue a guidance memo on court contempt clarifying that any on-record intimidation of the court or its staff will result in immediate custody, regardless of a defendant's resources or influence. If you believe that influence should never affect traffic cases, uphold order in the court, so this policy framework can be implemented within 48 hours. The body cam footage is public record. Within 72 hours, clips go viral. Local and national media run headlines. A teen tells the judge, "My dad can buy you leaves and handcuffs 30 minutes later." Within a week, Roth Capital Group's legal team files a motion to vacate the contempt finding. They cite First Amendment hyperbole, youthful indiscretion, a clean record, and letters from charities praising the family's generosity. Caprio issues a written denial. The decision is 2 pages, single-spaced. The closing paragraph states, "The defendant's statement was not hyperbole. It was a deliberate assertion that wealth places one above the law. Statements made openly in court like this erode public confidence in impartiality and integrity of the judicial system." The contempt finding stands. 15 days later, Aiden appears for his review hearing via video from ACI. He wears a standard-issue jumpsuit. His hair is unkempt, and his face looks thinner. "Mr. Roth, you requested this review. The question before me is whether you have demonstrated reflection and whether continued custody serves any purpose. What would you like to say?" Aiden looks directly at the camera. "Your Honor, I was wrong. I thought money equaled power. I believe my father's success meant I didn't have to follow the same rules as everyone else. I was arrogant, disrespectful, and I put children at risk. And then I insulted the officer who stopped me and the court that held me accountable. I am truly sorry." Caprio studies him. "Mr. Roth, are those your own words, or did someone write this for you?" "They're my own, Your Honor. I've had 15 days to reflect, and I'm ashamed of what I said." "Good. Shame is the first step toward change. Here is my ruling. I am reducing your custody to time served, 15 days, but you will complete a restorative accountability plan. If you fail, the remaining 15 days will be reinstated. You will complete 200 hours of community service with the Providence School Safety Program. Specifically, you will serve as an assistant crossing guard in the very school zone where you were caught speeding. You will work both morning and afternoon shifts in all weather conditions, helping children cross safely. This is service in the area you endangered. You will write and personally deliver apologies to Officer Rodriguez and the principal of Carver Elementary School. No letters drafted by your attorney. Your own words. You will also write and record a public service announcement on school zone safety. The script must be approved by this court. No branding, no family mentions, just plain truth. You will complete a driver safety reflection course and submit an 800-word written reflection detailing what you learned. No PR language, genuine insight only. Do you accept these terms?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Then you are released today. Officer Wilson will handle your release paperwork. Don't make me regret this, Mr. Roth." "I won't, Your Honor." "Thank you." Over the next 4 months, Aiden follows the plan step by step. Week 1. He reports to Elmwood Avenue at 7:45 a.m. for crossing guard duty. The temperature is 34 degrees. He holds a stop sign, guiding children across the same intersection where he had been recorded at 68 miles per hour. One parent sees him from the news. She says nothing, simply watches him, and walks her daughter across. Week 3, he delivers his apology to Officer Rodriguez at the police station. Rodriguez listens, nods, and says, "Thank you for coming. I hope you mean it." Week 5, he meets with the principal of Carver Elementary. She reads his apology and says, "Our students deserve to feel safe walking to school. I hope you remember that." Week 8, he records the PSA. The first draft mentions his father's charitable work. The court rejects it. He records it again. "I drove 68 miles per hour past children. I thought I was above the rules. I wasn't. Speed limits exist for a reason. Follow them." Week 12, he submits his reflection. It is honest, raw, and free of spin. He writes, "I spent 18 years believing money equaled respect. It doesn't. Respect is earned by how you treat people when no one is watching and how you take responsibility when you're caught." The compliance log is simple. 200 hours completed, 2 apologies delivered, 1 PSA approved, 1 reflection submitted. Should contempt be used more often for open court intimidation? Yes or no? Tell us below. For months after the initial hearing, Aiden returns to court for the final review. Caprio examines the documents, service logs, sign apology receipts, PSA recording, course certificate, and written reflection. "Mr. Roth, I've read your reflection." Aiden learns that rules are protections, not obstacles, and that wealth doesn't earn respect, character does. In court, he realizes that trying to use his father's money to influence the judge shows ignorance, not power. Judge Caprio acknowledges Aiden's growth, completing his community service and lifting his license suspension. 6 months later, reforms inspired by the case are in place. Attempted undue influences are logged, hotline calls are investigated, school zone equipment is fixed, and speeding citations drop. Caprio issues a statewide memo emphasizing that wealth and status do not excuse misconduct. Reflecting quietly at the end of the week, Caprio notes in his bench book, "The bench is not for sale," remembering Aiden learning responsibility firsthand, standing in school, zones to ensure safety. The story dramatizes accountability and character development, emphasizing lessons learned rather than serving as legal advice.